Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, Episode 21, beginning at the end, the season finale of Season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We are here, not just me, you guys as well. You guys have been watching this along with me, so you guys are here, well, the vast majority of you, I think pretty much all of you, will be here rewatching the season finale with me, but damn, it's been a hell of a ride. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one that feels this way, but I feel like I got like it hasn't really been that slow. I mean, it feels like it's gone by really quickly. I think it might just be because this is one that like so far this is the one show on this channel for which the reactions have been somewhat consistent. Like it's not like spaced out over weeks and weeks. Like for the most part, I've managed to keep the reactions at one a week, and as much as you guys would love to have them at more than one a week for the reaction seems more than fitting, and it seems it's the best I can actually handle. But yeah, the season finale, it's here. It's been a hell of a ride. I will point out the season review, like a review of the entire season, I will be doing, and it will be at the end of this video. I was contemplating doing another video for the season review, but that just seems like a waste of time, and it seems like it'll fit perfectly fine into the end of this video anyway. So stick around for the end. Might end up being like a 2-hour video or like an hour and a half or something. I don't know, but the season finale, the season review, will be done at the end once I actually talk about the episode. So stick around for that. If you guys are interested in that, I don't know. But yeah, so episode 21, beginning of the end. Last time we had, what did we have? We had not What did we have? Ragtag. That was it. Ragtag. Yeah. So we had flashbacks sprinkled in and out of the episode. A flashback starting off with a young Ward in the juvie center, being picked up by Garrett, and that's where Garrett first took Ward in under his wing as his kind of protege. And along the way, we found out exactly like how Ward had kind of become the apprentice of Garrett, and how he had become incorporated into Hydra, and how he became a double agent for S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that stuff. And like how, like exactly how Garrett had trained him up and raised him and stuff in the woods with Buddy. And Buddy. I think I saw a comment from someone saying that, oh, please tell me, please tell me Ward doesn't actually end up killing Buddy in this episode. And he's like, yeah, about that. Yeah, the dog goes. The dog goes at the end. But I do want to say thank you to all of you who actually pointed me back on the right track. My theory and like my interpretation of the ending of the last episode was that that Ward himself didn't actually kill Buddy, and because of that, Garrett had killed Buddy himself. So then that was parallel to him killing Fitzsimmons. But no, thank you to all who commented this. But the way he actually went was that he distanced himself from that situation. So he couldn't kill Buddy up for he could not look Buddy in the eyes and actually shoot him down just then. So that's why he actually shot the gun into the air, knowing that Buddy would run away. So then he could actually just shoot him through a sniper rifle as he was running through the woods. So that's what happened there. And then with Fitzsimmons, he couldn't actually kill them face to face or do anything like that. So he just dropped them out the bus with his back turned to them and stuff. So he's still a dick. He's still a psychopath and a dick and all that sort of stuff. But it's like, he needs to, I think, he believes that if he distances himself from the situation, then, it's gonna be it's gonna be an easier burden for him to bear. It's gonna the blood on his hands is gonna be easier for him to actually live with if he believes that he's not he doesn't have direct power. So with Buddy, it was just he could have shot him down like any other animal. Pretty much, he didn't have to actually put him down as a dog under Garrett's orders. He could have just shot him as an animal walking through the woods. And with Fitzsimmons, I think he dropped them in a pod out of the bus into the ocean. So I think that thing is not airtight. I mean, if it was airtight, then they'd still die because there's a limit, like a finite amount of oxygen in there. But because it's not airtight, that means the water will still fall in. And I think it looks like it's in the middle of the ocean, like a fair amount away from land. So it doesn't really seem like they have the option of even if they find a way out, it doesn't really seem like they have the option of actually getting out of the pod and climbing ashore or anything. It doesn't seem like rescue is anywhere close, and they have a very limited amount of time. So that alone, the awareness of that alone, makes me very, very worried for them. But I think his assumption is that that they're smart enough to find a way to survive it, and I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, right now I'm under the assumption that only one of them is going to survive it. I don't know who it is. I don't want to lose Fitz and Simmons, so I'm thinking the writers are just going to be like, oh, you don't want to lose both of them? How about this then? You can just lose one of them in this season. But I don't want either of them to go. I don't want to lose either of them. I love them both too much. They're two peas in a pod, okay? You can't have one of the peas out of the pod, okay? You gotta have both of them. And it's even more ironic. Two peas in a pod. They literally are right now. But yeah, so that was that thing. So that was that. Like that was the parallel. He had to distance himself from the situation to actually, have to face less of the guilt of having directly killed them. So again, the writing in this show is just top notch. But that was that. We had the team May and Coulson at the not Centipede. What was it called? Cybertech. That was it. Cybertech. The Deathlock people. They were at their headquarters and they found their kind of mainframe room, which wasn't really so much of a mainframe as it was a room filled to the brim with filing cabinets. Because all their data is paper based and stuff, so it's practically impossible to hack unless you burn the place down. You won't corrupt any of that information. But then looking through it, they found the Deathlock cabinet, and they found out that Garrett is actually the first one. He started the project back in 1990, I assume. I think after he suffered the IED blast to like his abdomen and stuff, and he had to patch his intestines back up and everything. After that, I think he just came up with a newer way of using technology to actually patch himself up. So he gave himself some body armor, and he started up the Deathlock program to do that and to help create soldiers and stuff. So that's what Mike has now, but he has the modern version. But yeah, so that was he has that armor plating that we saw, and I think in the end, Reyna opened up his thing, his plating, and actually pumped the GH325. She created a new one, a one single vial based on the information on Sky's hard drive. So she created one vial that managed to do. I mean, he had a bit of a glowy seizure of sorts, but then in the end, he became fucking omniscient. So is it omniscient? I don't know. Omniscient. I think what is it? I think omnipotent is all powerful. I think, right? Yeah. Omnibenevolent, I think, is all knowing. And I think omniscient is all seeing, right? I think so. I know omnipotent is all powerful. I'm assuming omniscient is all seeing. But he said he could see the universe and feel the universe. So apparently he went all starry-eyed and shit. So that was him. So he was the birth of the Deathlock project, and he now has GH325 in his body, in his techno-organic body now. So yeah, but she opened it up, and I don't know. I mean, looking back at that, I think I was expecting that. Given the state of the human body, I was expecting there to be blood in there and stuff. I mean, I assume because it's now techno-organic, it's a much more controlled thing now. So opening it up, you wouldn't it's not going to be gushing out with blood. It will be in a more controlled environment, even in his body and stuff. But yeah, no. Looking back, I was expecting it to be somewhat more gory. But I mean, hey, even with that camera angle, you could see inside. You could see where his intestines were, where his kidney and liver or whatever was, and all that stuff. So yeah, so he patched himself up and then started the Deathlock thing and gave himself some armor, so that was cool. But now he has GH325. We see that Reyna knows something of Sky's history. She sorry if I'm rambling about this, by the way. I just realized how long I've been talking for 12 minutes and I haven't even started the episode yet. But I'm just going through stuff. But yeah, Reyna knows something of Sky's history. The fact that she knows of the story that in the Hunan province of China, I believe she said, a village was massacred by monsters looking for their baby. So apparently the baby's parents were the monsters. So Sky's parents were the monsters, and the monsters killed every man, woman, and child in an effort to get to their baby. So yeah, I mean, I'm assuming they were monsters because of what they were able to do, the fact that they were going around killing people trying to get to their baby. But I'm under the assumption that that's the main reason. They were trying to get their baby back, and they weren't actively trying to kill their baby. But I guess we'll see. We'll see more of where that leads us. But yeah, so her parents were trying to get to her, and she, and like for reasons unknown, she was on 084. So Reyna knows something. Well, Reyna knows that much. She knows that much. Whether or not she knows more than she's letting on is questionable, but I guess that's all she's willing to let go of for now. And then we also ended up with the team facing off against Centipede soldiers in the basement of the barbershop where all the stuff was. So they found the basement, and then they saw one of Garrett's dudes with the berserker staff, and like a group of Centipede soldiers with the glowing red eyes and stuff. So they've got a fight on their hands. So yeah, that is pretty much all I have for this. I am very, very anxious to see how this all ends and how it all unfolds. But it's been a hell of a season. I have no doubt that this will be an explosive and cliffhangery finale. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from that episode to episode 21. Beginning at the end. The season finale. Let's go. Yeah, it is a cavalry. Oh yeah, May with the berserker staff again. Oh yeah, May with the berserker staff. She was badass last time. Oh damn. Oh crap, they're actually okay. No water seeping in. Oh damn. Wait, is this thing airtight?
Built to be compatible with all shield aircraft, submarine, spacecraft.
Ah, okay, even with submarines.
Must have tried to compensate.
We'll find a way out of here, right?
And then what? Swim to the surface?
And then
with a broken arm?
With the bends.
Fury always said, a man can accomplish anything when he realizes he's a part of something bigger. A team of people who share that conviction can change the world.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you say?
Sounds very Fury-like. Sounds very Fury-like.
No.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to kick some ass.
Oh yeah!
That works too.
I'm ready to watch May kick some ass.
Saying just talk to him.
In glorious
Says everything's
fashion.
fine, but he's not acting.
The drug didn't just strengthen my body. It gave me clarity of mind.
Did it give him actual clairvoyance now?
Waiting beneath the surface. The truth is written on the back of my eyes. So, go ahead, Flo.
Jesus, he has a way with words. He definitely has a way with words.
Hey ho, friends! The enemy approaches. Careful now.
Damn, that's some World War II tech, huh? Sounds very much like World War II voices. Best heist they've ever pulled off. Whoa, rockets! Okay.
But a new world is coming. I've tasted it on my tongue.
This is your strategy consultant?
He's
more like a soothsayer.
New strategy. You shut your mouth.
Ooh.
I've seen the future. This is the beginning.
Oh, Jesus! Oh.
Beginning of what, John?
Is that a rib cage? Is that a rib?
The end.
Damn. He has gone mad. Jesus.
The world is going to change. And when it does, she could be yours.
Nah. Not on any watch I own or anyone else owns. Yeah.
She thinks I'm a monster.
She knows you're a monster. She knows it.
Is that your true nature?
This is a bomb. You know what those do. And you seen Agent May here through the eyes of your super soldier.
Default directive.
Stay.
What is default directive?
Stay.
Defend John Garrett at all costs. That's the default directive. Oh, so they're gonna leave them and go for John.
They're off to defend Garrett.
And lead me right to him.
Ah, okay, yeah, nice. Okay, so not just leaving them alone, actually
Trip.
taking them back.
The
Okay.
rest of us don't make it.
You want orders? Get her.
You stay the fuck away from Sky. No!
He's always been a tender heart.
Oh, I will crush that tender heart with my
You don't need to be
fingers.
sent to default.
I feel the same way. There has to be another way.
You're taking
Why
it.
No,
would you
please,
do
let
this?
both of them
You're the
live.
best person in the world.
Yeah, you're more than that, Gemma. I couldn't find the courage to tell you. So please. Let me show you.
Please.
Gemma, we have to hurry.
Oh, I don't want to lose Fitz. Now they just have to stay afloat, right? Nick! He saved them! He saved them!
I have a weapon much better than a bomb that will absolutely
Nay.
destroy you.
Yeah, oh, please get May versus Ward.
Why is that?
Because you slept with her. And she's really pissed off.
So May versus Ward! Yes! Come on, May, kick his ass! That's it.
Let's talk about it.
Oh crap, oh god, I need to see May beating the crime frame. Yeah, let that rage go. Oh, you son of a...
Hi, Phil.
Oh, damn. That was a punch. Yeah, that was a punch. Oh, Mike. No, Fury, yeah.
You don't have to call me Sir Coulson. Look at me. Just like I live under a bridge.
What are you doing here?
Pretty good punch.
Whoa, is that the thingy? Yeah, that's what he used against Loki. Yeah, that's what he used against Loki. Boom. There we go. Can he hit Garrett with that? Is that gonna do anything against Garrett? It has ammo.
Reminds me of the old days.
You were never on top.
Yeah, May definitely seems like a top. May is just an undoubted top. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Yes! Boom! No, don't wait. Chop the throat.
I think I've waited long enough.
Elbow the skull, yeah. Boom! There are people locked up here? Ace!
Or ace in the hole.
Ace!
You remember that speech you used to give us, Nick?
Oh, great.
About how one man...
A part of something bigger.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, a
how-
small portion that makes up the bigger picture.
If you tell me this whole Hydra path thing you took is because you misheard my damn speech,
I am the key to the future of the universe.
Dad, what are we? What are we? We're a team! We're a team, yeah! Ooh, okay! Yeah, Mike has his son back! Mike has his son back!
You can't do this, Mike.
Mr. Peterson's free to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, the first time in a long time, he has free will. Ugh. Very gory free will, but free will nonetheless.
think he learned his lesson.
He's having trouble speaking. I think
Oh,
I
I'm
fractured
sure.
his larynx.
Oh, good.
I thought with that kick she would snap his neck.
Whatever you did. You did it for Ace.
Mike Peterson is not a bad man.
And what I do now, that'll be for him too.
Go forth into the world, Mikey boy. We believe in you. Oh, and he's outfitting himself with all that cyber tech crap. Oh, come on. Why couldn't Garrett just die?
I'll be
I found it! Told you it'd be in here. How should I proceed?
That's up to you, Director.
My boy's going up in the world! He is going up in the world. He's director of S.H.I.E.L.D. now, damn.
I'll be everywhere.
Yeah. We're the one working eye. One working eyeball.
Another secret base?
I call it the playground. Although technically it doesn't have a name because technically
Aren't
it
you
doesn't
dead?
exist, it being a secret base and all.
Eric?
Billy.
Billy?
Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, like
Although
a...
I totally understand the confusion.
Is he like a brother?
Eric passed away.
Agent Coulson.
I know, and it is an honor. Thank you, sir. I'll get your
They're
letter
both
shortly.
fans.
For the
Both
rest
of the
you
Koenigs.
Lanyards will be
Case
sent
by
out on a
case.
case-by-case basis. Where would you like to start?
With a new team. Oh, a burnt out arm.
I found your daughter.
Sky's father!
We'll
He's
return
alive.
In a moment.
Sky's father is alive. Is he drawing in the walls? Oh, he's drawing the same shit that Garrett was drawing. Wow, that's much bigger than Garrett's. Is he okay? I don't know. I don't know if he's okay. Wow, that 3-letter word alone is not even close enough to describe what went down. This was a heavy episode. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to edit this, but this was a heavy episode. A heavy episode. A lot happened. So, I want to start off, right? I want to start off with Fitzsimmons. I want to start off with Fitzsimmons because they played with my heart this episode. They played with my heart, and I did not like the way they played with it. But they were underwater. I think they weren't. I mean, they were definitely in a dire situation, but I think it wasn't as dire as I foresaw. I mean, I figured that like it was the pod was either airtight, so they were on a finite amount of air. They were running on a finite amount of air, or they were or that the water would be seeping in and they'd be struggling to stay the water would probably be seeping in at a steady enough rate, but they'd be struggling to stay above water and all that stuff, and they'd have to find a way to burst open the airlock or whatever. But no, Fitz said the pod was actually designed to be compatible with planes and submarines as well, so it was compatible with underwater kind of stasis and travel and all that stuff. So they were good, except for the fact that in terms of resources like food and stuff. I mean, I don't even think they had food in there. Like I think it wasn't. I mean, it's a pod. I think it seemed like an escape pod of some sort, like a pod that you might use to escape. I think it wasn't meant to be used. I don't think as an actual kind of housing unit, even temporarily. So that's why they didn't really have much in terms of resources, so that's why they were scared and hungry, but they didn't have any food on them to actually eat. So yeah, there was that. But I think he did say that he strapped them to like a thing in it. So it's more like an evacuation pod, if anything. So yeah, so it's meant for like short term like habitation and all that stuff. So yeah. But I think there were different perspectives at that whole scene. There were different perspectives on their situation. One scene where they were both discussing the beauty of death and evolution. I think that was probably one of my favorite scenes. Like even in that moment, I think on the one hand you got Simmons just looking at the beauty of evolution and how you can be part of one thing in one life and then you evolve and move on to another thing. Like at one point you can be part of like a fish, and then your atoms and your particles dissolve as you die, and then you become part of something else. You become part of like a new life cycle and a new universe and all that stuff. Like she's looking at the beauty of that, and then Fitz is just looking at her with the most soppy heart eyes, just wanting so desperately to tell her how he feels. And I think that's been one of my favorite things this season, that you can actually see how it gradually. I think they kind of took a chance there and kind of made it like a more childish thing when Trip came along. When Trip came along, and like you could see the chemistry really blossoming between him and Simmons. You could see Fitz had that kind of tang of jealousy to him. But besides from that, I think they actually really showed that Fitz and Simmons started off as two great friends. They started off as two great friends. They started off in the SHIELD Academy. Then they both graduated onto Coulson's team. And they've both just been through so much thick and thin, like together through and through and all that stuff. So they really make a great pairing. Even as friends, they make a terrific pairing, which is one of the reasons I love them. So to see them in such a horrible situation, even at the end, like where after they've conducted the escape plan, and then Fitz hands over that little gizmo meant to like allow them to breathe. He's like, he's done the math, and there's only enough for one. There's only enough of an oxygen supplier for one person. And he did the math, partially based on his own feelings for Simmons. And he gave his own life. He allowed her to be the one who actually lives off of the oxygen supply. And he's the one, I think by the end of it, he's the one barely hanging on to his life. He's got a heartbeat, but it's weak, and he's alive, but, he was definitely changed by being underwater. So I think he took the brunt of it. He said, opening the airlock like that, or at least, exploding it, like blowing it out like that, would bring the water rushing in, and it'd be like, getting punched in the stomach by water, getting the wind knocked out of you, so you lose that amount of breath, and then to make matters worse, the water is rushing into your lungs, and instead of refilling your lungs with any sense of oxygen, it's filling up with water. So like he was essentially drowning on his way up there. But yeah, so Fitz and Simmons, I think, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad they both made it out alive. I am tremendously glad they both made it out alive. But yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, I feel like at least part of my prediction might come true. Like we still might lose one of them in some way. Like Fitz, I think they said that he won't. Like Coulson said Fitz may never be the same again. So being on the verge of death and drowning, like he's not Cap. He doesn't have any serum in him keeping him alive. He can't recover from something like that so easily. He's like a mere human. So I think he will take the brunt of of that damage and that kind of force in the most impactful of ways. And I'm really afraid to see how that might unfold. But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how to feel about that. I feel like we're likely to lose Fitz in some. I don't know. I mean, what would that entail then? Like, if he is changed, what exactly would that entail? Like, because I mean, if he's on the verge of it, I mean, like, if he was on the verge of drowning, like obviously they would resuscitate him, get the water out of his lungs, and then like he'd probably kind of like choke the water up, and then probably just be like go back to sleep, and be like just they try and keep him steady on like a steady heartbeat. But then in terms of damages, what would that really entail? I don't know. I mean, I don't know, because I don't know. I mean. I'm thinking it might just be a case of him actually taking a long time to wake up. He might be comatose for a while, and his body recovers from the damages of having absorbed so much water. Maybe there's still some left in his system, but in like a kind of non-lethal-ish way. But I don't know. I'm just scared for what it means for him now, because he confessed his feelings too. He confessed his feelings right before they did that, and that one. That scene, just Gemma kissing him all over, just hugging him, refusing to let go, and him just blowing open the window and just letting all the air rush in, like that stuff, that just took me out. I could not handle all of that. So yeah, please give me back Fitz. Please give me back my boy Leopold Fitz. Is it Fitz? His last name is Fitz, right? Like it's not short for like Fitzgerald. Well, Leopold Fitzgerald. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. I think Fitz. I mean, yeah, Leopold Fitz. Like that sounds weird. Leopold Fitzgerald. I mean, I don't know. Let me know what his last name actually is. If it's like a Fitz is a shortened version of something else. But Fitz, yeah, give me back my boy Fitz. Give me back Fitz in like a safe and sound and in a stable condition, both physically and mentally. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see exactly where Fitz. But the way they handled Fitz and Simmons being trapped underwater was definitely very well done. But yeah, what else? So Fury returned. Fury made a magnificent return. I think this was much bigger than last time. Last time we had him, it was like a small cameo-ass scene. Like towards the beginning of the series, I think it was in 084 that he came by, because I think it was when the bus was actually like had been attacked and damages had been sustained and stuff, and he ordered Coulson to get the bus back in. He ordered Coulson to get the bus back in working condition. So this one, he's actually in the episode and he's actually doing bits. He's doing bits. But he came by. He saved Fitzsimmons. He actually saved them because the beacon that they put together in the pod. So he actually found their beacon. He saw them as he saw them stranded in the middle of the ocean, Simmons struggling to keep Fitz afloat. So he came by in his chopper and he saved them in his leather jacket and sunglasses fashion. But Fury coming by, I think it's very, very fitting, especially since like all the stuff with Hydra gone down. He still looks the same. He still looks the same as he was at the end of Winter Soldier, like the little sideways hat, the shades, the jacket, and everything. So that's after that's after he's burned all of his possessions. So he set his eye patch and everything I liked. He showed Steve and Sam his grave with the Pulp Fiction quote on it. That's after he's gone underground, and that's I think at the end of that film he actually did say like it looks like a lot of Hydra rats didn't go down with the ship, so he's got a lot of work to do to flush them out and keep S.H.I.E.L.D. afloat. So this is what he went on to. He went on to save closer members of S.H.I.E.L.D. inside. So yeah, but Fury coming back, and especially meeting back up with Coulson in the Cybertech lab was a great reunion. That was a great reunion to see, Coulson just gets gut punched and sucker punched to the gut by Garrett, and then he just he lands at the feet. He literally lands at the feet of Fury. So seeing them back together again was a great reunion. Garrett, he was definitely off his rocker. Garrett was so far off his rocker that I'm starting to question here. I'm starting to question whether or not he had one in the first place. He was kinder to Ward. That's the weird thing. Like, he's never kind to Ward. I mean, he's congratulatory towards Ward, but he's never kind towards him. Like saying, oh, you can do whatever you want, son. The universe is at our fingertips. I can see the sun, the moon, the stars, and we can do this and that, and it's gonna be awesome because we're the masters of you. Like he had that kind of he was high. It's like he was literally high on GH325. It's like that was the after effect on him. But yeah, and then Fury's thing, like, really? All of this is because you misinterpreted my one man speech and part of a bigger plan speech, like Fury's speech being what matters is one man being part of a team that brings out the bigger picture and all that sort of stuff. And then Garrett being I don't need a team anymore. I am one man. Like, really? You misinterpreted my speech that badly, and this is where it's led you? And it's Coulson, you understood my quote, right? Like, of course I do. I have a whole team behind me. I'm just one part of a bigger machine and all that stuff. So, it's just classic. Like, if Fury comes up with those speeches, you're part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet. And there was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people. He's that kind of guy. He gives those kinds of collaborative kind of pep talks that brings people together and actually gets them to fight the battles that S.H.I.E.L.D. never could. So yeah, so that was cool. Seeing Fury was awesome. What else? May versus Ward. Literally, in terms of actually writing something down, literally the only thing I have is May versus Ward. May is top. May is a definite top. And it's from their line, like Ward being on top of May and him being this is just like the good old days, and then May's just you were never on top. You were never ever on top, and I can't imagine Ward being. I don't want to imagine the sex between them, but I can never imagine Ward being on top. May is just. Just looking at her, you can tell she's a top. There is no way that woman would bottom for anyone. So, yeah. But yeah, I think May versus that fight did not go the way I expected it to go. I did not expect Ward to be able to fight back so brutally. I thought after what we got last episode, that pep talk from May being I'm harboring all of my anger, I'm mining it and I'm saving it, and when we see Ward, I'm gonna unleash it all on him. I thought, damn woman, that's all the anger you had, really. Like he smashed her through a headboard and beat her with a wooden plank and stuff, but there was a lot more kicks and punches that Ward got in, which pisses me off. But hey, May held her own. That is what's important. May definitely held her own. She definitely had the move with the nails to the foot, and then that one roundhouse kick to the neck. I thought with that kick, she would have snapped his neck, surely. But no, the bastard still lives and breathes and sees and tastes and smells, and all of his five senses are still intact. Well, I don't know. His sense. What is talking a sense? No, talking isn't a sense. Well, it's kind of because you can hear yourself talk, so I guess it would be connected to. He's alive, basically. Unfortunately, he's alive. So yeah, but May is still because of that. That means that May didn't get all of her anger out. If May got all of her anger out, Ward would not be alive. So yeah, it just reminds me. I was just thinking Garrett dying, him kind of climbing his way back up into that little chair thing, and then just covering himself up in cybertech armor, and being I am a one-man army now, and I'll be unstoppable, but then being cut off as Coulson just blows him up. That was, impeccable timing. That was impeccable timing. So I was seriously worried. I was worried they would not take Garrett down. I was like, you better give me the season finale of Garrett dying and, you know, being ensured that he stays dead. So, you know, Coulson literally incinerated the dude. So I'm pretty sure Garrett's gone now. I mean, for one thing, that's just a waste of Cybertech armor. But I mean, it's Cybertech. Their armor is a waste of metal and resources anyway. So yeah, but now, but that was a beautiful kill from Coulson. That was a beautiful kill, just out of nowhere, just a bang and a splat. So yeah, that was beautiful to see. But yeah, May. I mean, have I mentioned how much I love May? I probably have, but it's not enough. I love May a lot. She's a badass and she's amazing. And anytime I get to watch her kick ass on screen is just a privilege and just, you know, non-lethal sunshine to my eyes. It's just literally the screen glows whenever she kicks ass. So yeah, hats off to May for that. What else? So we had Sky's. Reyna is as ever cryptic with her dialogue and ever kind of secretive with what she means whenever she talks. But she mentioned Sky's true nature is due to be revealed in the coming. I assume by our linguistics, the coming season. So season 2 will probably be seeing Sky doing so much more than what she's been doing so far. So I don't know what she means by that. I mean, the darkness inside Sky. I think Thomas Nash. I think I vaguely remember him mentioning some kind of darkness in Sky that was soon to be unveiled. But I don't know if that's what she was referring to, or if she was referring to something else. But I don't know. I think Sky. I'm still of the theory that I'm still on the theory that her being given the GH325 will at some point maybe unlock powers. Because I think her being given the GH325, I think it's mainly because she's an 084. Because the 084s we've encountered so far, like Thor's hammer, the blaster thing that Coulson used on Garrett that was found in Peru, they've had unknown origins, but they've all been like significant things. Like they've all been significant entities. They've all had some kind of power, something that makes them special that no regular government can handle. So with Sky, it would make sense for her to actually have abilities. And again, her abilities were never seen. Not that she didn't have any, but it's just that the Agent Lumley and Avery never saw any abilities if she ever had them. So I mean, why else would she be an 084? Like what would make a baby so special, or so maybe like kind of like weird or dangerous, perhaps, that an entire village would need to take it away from its parents and keep it away? What would make it like? What would make them do that? Like unless they saw the baby exhibiting powers, then they saw it as dangerous or something unnatural. Then they tried to take it away from the parents, and the parents fought to get it back. Like, why would they do that? So I think maybe the GH225, especially it being an extraterrestrial thing with otherworldly properties and abilities, it might unlock something in her. And I think knowing that the GH325 is inside Sky, I think that's what gives Reyna the impression that, you know, oh, it's going to boost her somehow, and it's going to unlock her true thing, her true nature. So I'm wondering if she actually does have some hidden powers that we might see. But I don't know. I'm not going to think too far ahead in case these theories are really true and I just end up kind of, you know, spoiling myself on them. But yeah, but that was Sky, and Sky worked to free all the prisoners. She freed all the prisoners that Cybertech had, including the main dude's wife. I think Kyle's wife was in there, and also Ace. She also freed Ace. So Ace is back with his, I believe that was his auntie. Yeah, because I think he was with his auntie originally. Like Mike left him with his auntie originally. So, yeah. So I'm assuming she's back with him. But Mike himself, Mike is going off to amend his actions now. I think the entire time he was sent in, he had his own mind, but he just wasn't allowed to use it. He was under Hydra's control. So now, so then that thing, like that was a beautiful turn of the tables with Sky giving Deathstroke the order. She had control of Deathstroke through her phone, so she asked Ace for a message, like only something that his father knew that he would say. So like him saying like, you know, what are we? We're a team, and you know, from there on, like that way, Mike knows Ace is in safe hands. Ace is back in safe hands, so he can fight back against his controllers. And he definitely did so, firing a rocket into Garrett's chest and then stomping his face in. So yeah, I think the send off he got from Coulson was very fitting. I think as cool as it would have been to see Mike actually taking out his oppressor, I think it was cooler seeing Coulson actually taking him out with that laser blast. So yeah, that was a definite plus. But we did see Raina at the end. The very, very final shot we saw, the very final scene we saw, we had the cameras turned to the back of the man, but we saw that he does have a very, very injured arm. He has a very injured arm that's just leaking and oozing blood. But we saw Raina visiting him and being let into the room by the bulky, tattooed man, and she showed him a picture of Sky and said, "It took some time, but I found your daughter." So she knows Sky's father. So I think her parent is still alive. Not her parents. I think her mother is, as of yet, unknown, but her father is still alive. I mean, presumably just injured beyond like any immediate repair, but he's alive. I think maybe it's also questionable that if he's still keeping the injuries from having fought for custody of his daughter again from the villagers, but her father is alive, so that is something we'll be seeing in season 2. Oh, okay. That makes me very, very anxious and excited too. I think I'm very kind of curious as to what all that entails. But yeah, that was that. We had Billy Koenig. So Eric had a brother, like a literal identical twin brother. Like they didn't even have to do any CGI stuff. They literally just brought Patton Oswalt back into the mix. He's like, "Hey, remember how we killed you up that one time in Providence?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course I do." And he's like, "Great, we want you to play your brother. We want you to play your original character's brother. Great." So he's Billy Koenig, and he runs the playground, which, you know, I think it's a similar situation. That shield base, like Providence, was so secret, no one had an official name for it. But even Providence, Eric named Providence himself, and now Billy, he named Koenig himself. So, but I mean, they're identical beyond just looks. Like, both of them are hardcore fans of Phil Coulson. They're both like, "Oh, it's a great honor to meet you, sir." Same memo, like, "Oh, we'll get you your lanyard immediately, but everyone else will be issued a lanyard on a case-by-case basis." I wonder if he has a chair. I wonder if he has one of those lie detector chairs again. We're going to go through initiation all over again. I don't know, but yeah, we have a Billy Koenig, and we have a playground. So that is their newest shield base that's still undercover. So Hydra is still out and about. So they need to be careful. The team needs to be careful now about how they go forth into the world and actually rebuild shield. But yeah, that's a new thing. So Fury is going to go his own way. Fury's going to go his own way and do his own thing and try and plant his feet into the world again. But he does, well, for one thing, Coulson finally got to confront him about the whole Tahiti thing and the whole resurrection thing. He finally got to confront him being stupid, and all the other things. So that was cool to see. And then Fury being like, "Are you done? Like, I had my reasons, you know. I didn't just bring you back for the fun of it. You're one of my best men, and I used your own project to bring you back. And I had May watching over you to make sure things didn't go wrong." But yeah, he finally got to confront Coulson about that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, part of me feels like, instinctively, part of me feels like there's more he should have said. But right now, nothing really comes to mind. But yeah, what else? Like, I think so. Fury has a mission for Coulson. Fury actually has a mission for Coulson now. So he wants Coulson. He gave him like a little tool, like a cube thing, like a toolbox, and he said that's going to help him complete his new mission, which is to rebuild S.H.I.E.L.D. He wants Coulson to rebuild S.H.I.E.L.D. from scratch. As the director, Coulson is the director of new S.H.I.E.L.D. Coulson is the director of the new and potentially improved S.H.I.E.L.D. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just awesome to hear. Like, Coulson is moving up in the world. Like, first he gives his life to help. He gets killed before the Battle of New York, and then he's brought back, and you know, he helps the surviving members of S.H.I.E.L.D. to actually fight back against the Hydra uprising, and now he's proved himself worthy of that title. He is the man. He is the man at the, he is the heart of S.H.I.E.L.D. And even Coulson said that, the one core belief S.H.I.E.L.D. had, since its creation, was protection, to be the shield that protects the world, to protect the world from what it can't protect itself against, and to do what no man alone can do, what no man or woman alone can do. And to be part of something bigger, to be part of a team and everything. So Coulson has believed that from day one. We've seen it time and time again, and especially after the whole Hydra stuff, we've seen him ferociously and furiously defending that belief that they are not agents of nothing. They are agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They are part of a bigger picture. They are part of something designed to help protect people. So he will never ever surrender that belief or those ideals. He will die for those ideals. So he's pretty much the Cap. He is pretty much the Captain America of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's the heart and soul of the team. He's the one who leads them into battle. He's the one who actually, shows them and he keeps showing them time and time again why they fight and for who and who they fight for. So he is very much a very, very worthy candidate for the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so, Fury knows where to place his good faith. So yeah, director Phil Coulson. It has a nice ring to it. That has a very nice ring to it. But yeah, so that's that. So in season 2, we will be seeing more of that happening. But yeah, I think what else is there? Have I missed out on anything? I don't know. My brain is my head is feeling kind of hot, but my brain is just kind of just jumbled up and stuff. Have I don't know. I don't know if I've missed out on anything. I'm missing out on water. That's a definite. But yeah, so just keep saying until something comes to my head. I think in this episode in particular, a very explosive finale. This episode as a whole was definitely a nice way to tie things up and to actually bring everything that happened in season 1 to a close. I think just given how much was actually, from an outsider's perspective, it would feel like a lot of stuff was brought into season 1, like a lot of stuff was condensed into season 1. But going through each episode, exactly how well they've built things up to this point, and how well they've actually executed different things, and how well they've maintained different elements and stuff. So characters and their arcs, and newer people coming in, newer character introductions, you wouldn't think that they happen so soon, but at the same time, it's this season has 21 episodes, so that's like a very, very large kind of span of episodes, and like a lot of stories to actually interweave and interconnect, and it works. They've made it work, and I think they've made it work in the same way that in the same way that they make the movies work. The movies are all interconnected. The movies reference each other. They build up off each other. They kind of, they like one movie allows the next one to be its successor properly enough, and with this, it's like you keep on rolling along with the story at the same pace as the agents. You keep on rolling along with them. It's like we discover stuff at the same pace as them, so it's like it's like more. Sometimes it's slower paced, sometimes it's like faster paced, and it suits the story based on what the story is telling you, what the story is about. So stuff with the clairvoyant, that stuff was pretty high paced. But yeah, with this episode as alone, this episode as a conclusion to this series, to this season, it works so well. It works super well, and I think I've thoroughly enjoyed it as a season finale. I think if anything, it definitely makes me feel like I have actually watched an actual season, as opposed to something that needs to be left over. I think obviously there is a season 2, so loose ends for this season. I personally, right now, I think I might change my mind after I finish recording the video, but right now, in terms of loose ends for this season, there's one I can think of, but that's just my own personal preference. But generally speaking, I can't really think of anything that they've introduced in this season that needed to be finished off this season, besides from the personal preference thing. So I think in terms of that, they've actually managed to start and end a story. Season 1, I see it as its own story. I see it as it's completely its own story. And they've managed to actually, tell that story effectively enough that they keep you on the edge of your seat, but at the same time, it's like it keeps you interacted enough to actually care about what happens to these characters, and it's enough to keep you wanting more from this show as a whole, to see where else they go. Because again, I think with this show, it's like I think it works so well as its own thing within the MCU. It works so well, but knowing that it's connected to the wider movies definitely gives it definitely allows you to gain a broader perspective of what the show is like and what the show is meant to be about, whilst also showing you like, yeah, these characters know they know the Avengers, they know all the heroes, they know about them. It's like they often deal with the aftermath of their battles. They deal with the cleanup and everything, so they know everything that they have to do and all the stuff that they're involved in. So in terms of that, it works very well. But yeah, that is my review for episode 21 of season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So on to the seasonal review. I love this show. I love this show beyond words. And I think that's what surprised me most about this. I mean, admittedly, I didn't start off with episode 1. In terms of reactions, I didn't start off with episode 1. I'm going to take this hat off because it is fucking boiling my head. I did not start off with reactions straight from episode 1, and the reason for that is because I had seen, when I decided I wanted to do reactions for this show, I had already watched episode 1 a bunch of times, and it would not have been enough of a reaction to be a reaction. It would just be me remembering all the stuff that happened, but I had never managed to successfully progress beyond episode 2 or 3, so episode 2, my memory was vague enough on what had happened, so going forward from there was the actual treat. But going into it, right, like I mean, I had heard about other people's love for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'd heard other people kind of did discussing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like in a non-spoiler way, but like in a way that they loved the show and they loved how the writers conducted the show and how it was connected to the MCU and how like in terms of a TV show how great it was, in terms of just having lovable characters and interactive stories and just stories you yourself get involved with, and in terms of it just being a show that you actually enjoy watching genuinely, being a fan of superheroes or not. So me being an avid MCU fan, I figured, you know what, I'm 80% caught up with Netflix stuff, so this is the one side of the MCU that I'm actually not caught up on, or that I've never really managed to get into. So I think making this into a reaction series would be the one surefire way to make sure that I actually stick to the show as well. It would be the one surefire way of actually making sure that I can actually watch the show through to completion if I start a reaction on it. And I think one thing is, and another thing I have to add to that is a thank you to you guys. A thank you to all of you behind the camera watching this at home or outside or wherever, wherever you're watching this, just a thank you to you guys, because I did not anticipate how many people would actually enjoy watching these reactions. I think this show, I did not really think I'd get much attraction to the channel for this. I didn't really think many people would watch. Despite how many discussions I heard on the show, I didn't really think it was one of the bigger shows on Agents on TV. I didn't think it was really one of the bigger things in the MCU that people were interested in. I thought, given how much of a ruckus was caused for the cancellation of the MCU Netflix shows, I figured, that's where everyone is. That's what everyone takes part in. Netflix is a giant of a streaming service, so that's likely that's likely where all the Marvel TV fans are, watching Daredevil and Luke Cage and all that stuff. I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is probably one of the more niche shows or something. But no, I was wrong. You guys love this show as much as I do, and I'm here for it. I think this show, seeing how much you guys love the reactions and you love the show, made me love the show even more. The fact that I really, really felt like I was actually watching it with you guys. So I have a massive, massive thank you to give out to all of you for actually, keeping me in touch with the show and actually, informing me of what, if my theories were correct, and just generally boosting my love for the show and actually, making me feel like a part of the fandom overall. So a massive thank you to you guys. Massive thank you to you guys. So I am very, 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 very much looking forward to progressing into season 2 with all of you. But this show, I think, going in, I think I didn't really expect it to be this much or this well written of a show as well. I think watching Netflix stuff, I think Netflix stuff I'm conflicted on because like stuff like Daredevil, I had trouble getting into because it's a much like slower paced show. It deals with a far more grounded character than any movie in the MCU has shown us. Like Daredevil, he's very much a street level hero. He deals with a lot less. I mean, he deals with brutal crimes, but he deals with a lot less than the Avengers do. So starting that show, I like had a lot of trouble getting into it because it wasn't as fast paced as I was used to. It wasn't as like dramatic or energetic as I was used to. It definitely dealt with a lot closer connections to the characters. So I had trouble getting into that. Jessica Jones, I kind of felt the same way. It took me a while to finish the first season because I just kept losing track of episodes and stuff. But with this one, I mean, even doing the reactions aside, the more I got into the show, the more I got into this season, so much more I wanted to watch. Because, like, for one thing, I mean, like some episodes would end with cliffhangers, and for another thing, it's just like the characters are so well written. They're impossible to not fall in love with, except for Ward. But then Ward is like, you kind of that happens after turn. So you can't really blame yourself for before it. But yeah, I mean, with this, I think it's just like it really does a good job of actually solidifying the birth of a new team of people in the MCU who are ready to risk their lives to fight for the greater good and stuff. And it actually shows you a team of much more human people. Like this is an all human team of people. No superpowers. Some of them are combat specialists, but no superpowers, no knowledge of the cosmic world beyond. Well, like a relative knowledge of the cosmic world beyond, but they have no special abilities that makes them makes them the Avengers. But they are still the human Avengers pretty much. They still do the job. They get the job done. They know how to handle themselves. And as the story goes on, and I think part of it is because the first few episodes really do such a bang up job of actually introducing you to the characters. Like the first few episodes, like Fizzed and I think I can never remember the episode title. Let me go back to the episode titles. From I'd say the asset to I think what was it, like repairs or like the well. Or like, I think it's like the first handful of like 6 or 7 episodes show you exactly what each member of the team is like, giving you some backstory onto the team, making you feel for the team. Like that episode, that episode with the Chitauri virus and everything, like Gemma being so ready to give up her life. Like, never mind Ward with his deep tactics 101. Gemma was ready to sacrifice her life because she thought it would save the team. She is the real hero in that one, not Ward. And stuff like the team bonding as well, because I think that's the beauty of this season as a whole. Like, when the show starts off, the team is very much like. The team members are very much strangers to each other. The team members are very much being introduced to each other for the first time. Some of them have some history with 1 or 2 members, but other than that, they're both strangers working together. And over time, the more they go through and the more we go through with them as an audience, the more the bond kind of solidifies, and actually the bond becomes more clearer and stuff. So so it's like it's more obvious to see why this team cares so much about each other, and why like they're so important to each other, and why this team is so important. So in terms of the writers actually showcasing the birth and the blossoming of the team, they did a fantastic job. Like by like episode 4, I was already hooked on this team and on this show, like wanting to see more of them, wanting to see more of them going through more and being more, and getting more shit done. So they crossed off all 3 of those boxes. They ticked all 3 of those boxes off. So yeah, that was that. And I think, again, this being an MCU movie, I think this definitely does a good job of actually bringing in the incorporation of the movies a lot more. I think it's because this stuff deals. I think the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. actually deals a lot more closely with what the Avengers leave behind than the Netflix shows. I think the Netflix shows make I think it's because, I mean, obviously the Netflix shows are actually original shows. Like they are character-driven shows. Like Daredevil focuses on his own stories, Luke Cage focuses on his own stories, Iron Fist focuses on his stories, Jessica Jones. They all focus on their own stories, but still accepting that, like stuff like The Incident is the Battle of New York. So they still acknowledge stuff that happens in the movies, but they have their own characters, their own villains, their own storylines to run through. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think there are a lot of episodes we have where it deals with. I think they had a good mixture in this of they had a good mixture in this show of dealing with their own stuff, but also referencing what happens in the movies. And in this, them being the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., their own stuff is also the movie stuff. Like the Hydra thing was just off the charts amazing, the way they pulled it off in this, and being the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they couldn't avoid the Hydra reveal. The Hydra reveal rocked the movies in Winter Soldier, and everything after that changed. But with this one, I think someone actually commented this on one of the reactions a couple of weeks ago, and I fully agree. The way the Hydra reveal was done in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was so much more enjoyable and so much better than it was in the movies. Because with the movies, it's a much more condensed kind of time frame. That, like, I think, you know, the whole thing, I think one of the core elements of the Hydra reveal that made it so impactful was the fact that it showed that there were Hydra members within S.H.I.E.L.D., meaning secret agents, like sleeper agents, so people that S.H.I.E.L.D. agents thought that they could trust and that they could actually work together with were revealed to be traitors to the cause and revealed to be secret Nazis, pretty much. So with the movies, it's like, you know, with the strike team, you didn't really get much of a chance to get to know them. Like, you knew that they were good at their job and they were there to serve orders, but you never got like an explicit good guy kind of vibe from the strike team. Whereas with S.H.I.E.L.D., with AOS, you can probably tell my voice is getting croaky. I'm just talking constantly. But with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like with Ward, he started off as that typical kind of boy scout kind of. Looking back, it's like, you know, before I accepted the deep tactics 101 thing he mentioned, like I like looking back. Before he mentioned that, looking back, I just couldn't see. I just couldn't see him as anything other than a good guy who chose the wrong path. But in the end, it's like, you know, that was all it was all a facade. It was all a camouflage. Like all the good guy stuff he did was to gain their trust, like early acts of bravery, getting intimate with a team member, being the guy that Coulson could help, and these guys. It was all a cover. It was all a cover. He never meant any of it. And you know, like he just managed to pull off that good boy facade, that Boy Scout facade, so damn well that we all fell for it. And I think that was the better executed reveal of Hydra's kind of uprising, like the fact that, you know, the good guys can still be the bad guys, but they're just you know, bad guys. They're just good guys in disguise. Like the good guy is the disguise. Underneath that shell is the bad guy waiting to, you know, fill you up with bullets and join the Hydra ranks. So yeah, so in terms of incorporation of movies, I think one of the earlier episodes actually did deal with the aftermath of the London battle from Thor: The Dark World, so that was super cool to see. And I think it even used that episode to delve deeper into Asgardian lore and mythology as well. So again, it's like a lot of what this show uses to actually boost its own rank in terms of stories and characters, it uses what the movies can't. So like Deathlock and stuff, that was stuff that from the comics that the movies didn't use or didn't want to use or couldn't use. So the TV shows took him in and, you know, created something beautiful. So yeah, incorporation of movies is something that this show definitely has done super well in season 1. What else? The Hydra reveal, I think it was done in a very believable way, and I think a show being called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. alone would give you an idea that the Hydra reveal would definitely be something that actually requires a good handful of episodes to actually focus on and execute properly. And they definitely brought it out of nowhere. I mean, not that they brought it out of nowhere, but by the time it came up, it was very believable. And you like, having seen the movies already, like, well, provided you've seen the movies already, you could definitely theorize like when certain stuff should happen. Like when they were meant to be hunting the clairvoyant, and then Sitwell got like a text message to actually go to the Lemurian Star. We find him in the Lemurian Star at the beginning of Winter Soldier, so we know that stuff like that is about to go down. The Hydra reveal is about to go down, so it's coming up. It's coming close. So it's like the smaller things like that help build it up. And then Sitwell, we first see him, I think. I mean, I guess since that episode, that Hydra episode was actually aired the week of Winter Soldier's release, but a few days before, like it aired on TV before. I guess we saw him before that in something. So it's foreshadowing for what Winter Soldier what actually happens in Winter Soldier, but actually like connects him to where he was before then. So where was he before the Lemurian Star? Like how did he get there? So now we know he was helping Coulson and the team hunt down the Clairvoyant, but then he got called away to the Lemurian Star. So all of that stuff happened. So then those little hints, those little Easter eggs, like, you know, I'll actually help you, like, and especially me having watched the movies beforehand, it actually helped me keep along with what was happening in connection with the movies and the TV show, like actually seeing where in the timeline we were. And then of course May receiving the voice on the other end of her encrypted line being like, Director Fury is dead. So that's how far into the movies we are in comparison to the TV show. So Fury has been assassinated by the Winter Soldier, he's laying low, stuff like that. So like those little small details that actually help connect everything up is, again, just one of the things I like about how interconnected everything is and how joint everything is and how it all makes it work. It's like a little spider's web of stuff that actually connects and actually allows things to flourish and actually, you know, flow out well as a story. So yeah, that was that. Yeah, I think in general this just works really well as like an extension of the MCU. Like in terms of a TV show, again, they do a good job of focusing on their own stuff, but oftentimes their own stuff will also be stuff that happens in the movie. So most notably, in this season, their own stuff was like the Hydra reveal, the Hydra storyline that they executed really well. But then they definitely take time to talk about the movies and use characters that the movies won't or can't use. And it started off with Deathlock, but then we got Lady Sif coming in for the Lorelei thing. So there were two Asgardian episodes we had, like the whole Lorelei episode that we had where she seduced Ward and everything, and then you know Lady Sif came in. So that was after the Dark World. But she still came in to do her part and actually help out the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So that was a really, really cool thing. So it's like characters that they can introduce that the movies won't use, and characters that the movies haven't used in a long time that they can find a good use for. I think I love that the writers took that time and took the opportunity to bring back all these beloved characters and actually, you know, use them in some way. So the audiences, even if they don't watch the movies, or in a way, the audiences that don't watch the movies can still have something from the movies to actually see in this. But I think it would make more sense to you if you had actually watched the movies and been notable and actually noticed Sif's absence in the movies, and then you'd actually come back to this and actually see where Sif is and what all the other characters are doing. But I think the Easter eggs actually, I'd say the Easter eggs definitely boosted. The connections definitely boosted, but you know the writers still do a good job actually showing how these characters are still their own people. They're still their own team working to, you know, like, I mean, in their own way, they're fighting the battle that the Avengers can't. The Avengers are too busy, you know, fighting off bigger, much deadlier, world-ending threats. But the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are still handling smaller, deadly threats. They're still handling smaller, lethal threats and preventing them from growing into something bigger. And Hydra is the biggest they've faced. Hydra is the biggest threat they've faced. It's a resurfaced threat. So with the Hydra threat, they definitely showcased how big they're willing to go in terms of their enemies and how big they're willing to go with their stories as well. And even now, moving into season 2, I think, you know, given the fact that Hydra's still up and about, I mean, I don't know what the time gap's going to be like, but I think it won't be too far in. I think by the time we start season 2, Coulson may well have already established all the current existing members as their own team and actually, you know, like working to rebuild S.H.I.E.L.D. and rebuild the organization and still working to fight off other threats. So, yeah, I'm just the more I think about it, the more I talk about it, I just can't wait for season 2. I think the writers have also done a good job of like bringing in other characters, like Fury as well. I think Fury was someone I never expected to see, because Fury, we see him quite a fair amount in the movies. He's the big cheese of S.H.I.E.L.D. So seeing him in the show was a surprise, but a welcome one. Like definitely a very, very warm and welcome surprise. You know, he was definitely like a character I thought they'd probably leave for the movies, because he's the one who directly interacts with Tony and Steve and the Avengers. Like he's the one who leads them, and he's the one who guides them. So seeing him in S.H.I.E.L.D., in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., was like a very, very weird thing. I thought the cameo at the beginning of the season, I thought that was as best as we were going to get. I thought that was the best we were going to get, but no. For this season finale, he actually shows up. He has a prominent role. He's helping Coulson fight back against Garrett. He's actually doing his part. So yeah, I think I don't know how much of him we're gonna see moving forward, but he was definitely a welcome surprise in this. And even a few episodes before this, like seeing Maria Hill coming back in, she was a great guest role. Seeing her help Coulson and the team and doing her part was a great thing. And so seeing them bring these bigger characters into the thing, like Coulson, I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a chance for Phil Coulson to come back to life and do greater things and to actually continue being the great and honorable S.H.I.E.L.D. agent that he was and actually helping people. It was a seeing him get a second chance at life, and he has used that to its fullest, and even discovered the reason he was brought back. So I think that has been a great that has been a great plot line to actually see. The way it's been done has been it is really well done, but the fact that they had that as a plot line was actually really, really cool. And that is an example of one of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s own stories, like the fact that one of its main characters has this thing where he's resurrected and he spends the entire season trying to find out how he was brought back, why he was brought back, who brought him back, like what made this thing. But it starts off with him feeling different and not being able to kind of place a label on it, like him not being able to like figure out or understand why he feels different. So he kind of, I think he knows he was dead. He knows he was dead, but to him, like he's been told that he was only dead for like long enough for it to be clinical, and like that he was brought back almost immediately. But no, he was actually dead for like a lot longer time, and he was brought back using extraordinary means. So he intends to go forth and find out why. So each episode we see him inching closer and closer to the truth, starting off with the doctor, who the surgeon who actually did all the things, and finding like all these memories he has of Tahiti, and actually him finding out, and then even him going under the machine and having all those visions, and him finding out that he was pre-programmed to say all that stuff, and everything like that. The way they've unraveled that story alone has been just a real masterpiece to see, and seeing how it affects Coulson as well. Like Clark Gregg poured his heart and soul into this character, and actually giving audiences a real taste of like what this human being is and who he is, and like why he is the way he is. So hats off to Clark Gregg for that much. But Coulson himself, he's definitely like a relatable character. He's definitely the dad of the team. He's definitely the one who makes sure that everyone else is safe, and that make sure he has all the answers so that he can tell everyone else and explain to everyone else what the hell's going on. But for the most part, he needed explanations for himself. He needed to understand what happened to him before he explained to anyone else. So the way they executed that stuff was on point. The Sky stuff has been surprisingly well built up. Like she started off as an enemy of S.H.I.E.L.D., as a member of the Rising Tide, and then she was brought onto the team as a consultant by Coulson, and then it's just been a roller coaster ride with her. It's been a roller coaster ride with her. She's had quite the history of she's had quite the kind of table turning history, in the sense that she grew up thinking no one really wanted her, and she grew up feeling isolated from people and feeling like she was just like unwanted. So that's why she kept moving from place to place. And then, she grew up like wanting to find out the truth and wanting people to know the truth, and being that kind of a social activist, pretty much. And then upon joining S.H.I.E.L.D., she actually, she finally discovers the means to find out where she came from and who she is and all that stuff. Which is why, her name is Sky. She doesn't even have a family name. She doesn't know her family name. She has one, but she doesn't know what it is. Like, the only name she knows of is Sky. So she knows that much. But then upon joining S.H.I.E.L.D., I think she realized along the line that even more importantly than finding out where she came from and finding out who her family is, she found a new family along the way. She found a family within Coulson and Fitzsimmons and May and just them. Up until after turn, it was just them. After turn, it was just them. But yeah, with the not even formally, because Ward was never good. It was all a cover. So Ward can never truly be counted as good. So it was just a cover. So yeah, so with them she has a family. With them she found a family within Coulson. She found a father figure. someone willing to trust her and trust her instincts and trust her abilities to do good, and found like a fellow sister in May and in Gemma, and even in Fitz. I think I like to think she found like a dorky little brother in Fitz. But yeah, she has her family. She has a newfound a newfound family within the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So she's now an honorary agent. Well, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, well, now she can get her own lanyard again. She can get her own lanyard again. They are building the team from scratch. So now, even more beautiful, Skye can be a founding member of the new S.H.I.E.L.D. Skye can be a founding member of the new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the new S.H.I.E.L.D. that Coulson's going to help create from scratch. So she can be a founding member of that. So she's going to be, once again, she's going to be a part of something even bigger than herself, and it's going to be amazing to watch her blossom into whatever she blossoms into in season 2 and season 3 onwards. So it's going to be fun to watch all of that stuff go down. But yeah, we had that. And then again, I think this season, I think with this season, they definitely took they definitely took character development into their hands and molded it like fine clay, like the finest of clay. The character development in this show has been great to watch, and again, it's one of the things that helped me fall in love with the characters in this show so much. Like seeing how relatable and funny and lovable and like caring these characters are, like how much you yourself as a viewer care for these characters, and you want to see them blossom and you want to see them live on to cry and laugh and stuff. Like to see how much these characters are actually, how human they are, is what makes them actually so great, and how flawed some of them can be. Nowhere near as flawed as Ward, but seeing how flawed some of them can still be, but still at the end of the day they can still be like really loving human beings. And you know, like May, she even has her own darkness, she has her own secrets that she hides, but at the end of the day, this team is her family, and even she grew to realize that. She grew to love these people as her family, and she protects them, and she does her job with them, and she trusts Coulson, and she remains loyal to him. She remains a friend to him more than anything else, so she will do everything she can to protect him. But even the ending of that episode, where she actually she was one who sprayed the cream on Fitz's hand and made him smack him in the face with it. And the ending of that ending shot that just shows the camera panning over to her, she smiles, and knowing that she was the one pulling off such a miraculous prank, like that stuff shows that May still has a humorous side, but the darkness she holds is something that's going to be a part of her forever. But I think she realized it doesn't have to define her. She can use it to her advantage. You can use that darkness and that kind of pain to power her and to power through and to protect those she loves. So everyone in this show has their own qualities that really shine through in this, and they had their own traits and their own kind of like arcs that really kind of shine through in this season alone. In this season alone, they're all shown to be amazing people. But I think, and again, even connected to the Hydra thing, it shows that it really bites the bullet of showing how even the people closest to you can betray you, and they can really be the ones who turn around and stab you in the back. And with Ward, they executed that perfectly. Like that last minute kind of turnaround where he shoots Victoria Hand and he shoots the two guards and pledges his allegiance to Hydra. Like that stuff was table turning crap. That was table turning crap, and it was executed so well. So yeah, that is pretty much all I can think of. I can feel my temperature rising. My voice is not getting any better, so I should probably give it a rest. But yeah, long story short, I love this show. I love this show to bits, and I love it to atoms, and everything else I can possibly love it to. The show is amazing. I thank you guys again for supporting me through the show and for watching these reactions and supporting the channel so well. I love you guys for it. And I cannot wait to get into season 2 with all of you. Let me know what you thought of what you thought of this season, what you love about the season, what you hate about the season. My personal preference thing, by the way, was the thing where I said Audrey and Phil better reunite. I can kind of see, why it might not have happened in this season. I'm hoping we can see it happen at some point, but I can kind of see why it didn't happen in the season. But besides from that, from my eyes, from a general perspective, anything they set up in this season was answered in this season. So going forward into season 2, we have a clear idea of what's going to happen, so we can see what they have in store for us in season 2. But besides from that, I have no complaints at all about this season. I love how they handled it. I love everything that was started up, everything that was pulled off. magnificent. Just magnificent. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the season, what you love, what you hate, what you think, what you're looking forward to in season 2. And again, a big thank you, a big thank you. That was a terrible kiss blow. But thank you again for supporting the channel and for supporting this series. Really looking forward to watching season 2 with you guys. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have for this season. So that was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, Episode 21, titled Beginning of the End. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up in Season 2. And any recommendations or any kind of theories you have that are non-spoilery, of course, non-spoilery. And yeah, that's it. So, I will see you guys next time.